I told you I'm putting it on you. We're going for it.
Yeah, I was making a bunch of plays out there.
Good. That's good. That's solid, too.
Yes, sir.
Hold your ground. Hold your ground. Woo! Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, we got all we need right there, right? All we need, baby.
Well, hey there, folks. I don't think you were expecting to hear us quite this early in the week, but guess what? We've got a special announcement for you here from Charger Chat. What's going on over there, Mr. Kevin Duggan?
Well, we got somebody contacted us from a little podcast called Cat Chronicles.
Cat Chronicles?
They're the official...
Meow. I've got two cats. You guys are going on a cat podcast? It's crazy.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about kitties and
talk about the kitty bowl
stuff.
And all that.
Kitty bowl. So we got invited to go on the official podcast to give them a breakdown of our team. So
awesome! It's our first podcast crossover.
Yeah, so we're gonna basically just play the recording of what we don't know what's happened yet. We're recording this a little early, so hope it goes well.
This is like looking up and seeing Justin Herbert on the field, and it's not a trick play. Oh my gosh, these guys are on a different podcast. Holy smokes, everybody pay attention.
Yeah, but from what I've gathered, the guy does not like Phillip Rivers, so there might be a moment in there where I might get heated.
Oh dear.
I might have to, it might not be as nice.
Oh,
if you feel me.
Dear. Well, it's a good thing I'm not going to be there then. So I might have had to throw down some fisticuffs. All right. Well, good. All right. Well, let's take it over to the Cat Chronicles, folks, for the Carolina Panthers podcast.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Yo, what's the deal, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, bringing you another scouting report. This week, we're scouting the Chargers. We got some fun guests tonight. We are with the Charger Chat Podcast, fellas. Kyle and Kevin here tonight. We're going to be looking into the Panthers away game. They're going to L.A., Kyle and Kevin, man, thanks a lot for your time tonight. Welcome to the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Man, thank you. And I want to say, just off the top, in the immortal words of Forrest Gump, thanks for having us on your Panther Potty. I appreciate it. I prepared that. I've been wanting to use Forrest Gump quote my entire life on our podcast, and it's never come up, and I finally had a reason to use it. So thank you, Panthers Podcast.
It was a box of chocolates. I tell you that. It was a whole box of chocolates.
The layout right there.
Kyle, welcome to the podcast. You guys, Charger fans from San Diego, now spread all across the world, man. Welcome to the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. We love talking. Any excuse that we have to get on here and talk about the Chargers, we're ready to take it. So thanks for having us on.
You guys are 1-1. We're on the road there. The Panthers are 0-2. I don't think they're as bad as Panther fans say, but the Chargers turned out to be better than I thought they were.
It's a flip-flop of that to a certain degree. People thought we were going to be pretty bad, after that first week against Joe Burrow, and then we did what we did last week with a brand new quarterback. And, for our community, man, the sky's the limit for us right now. Like, even after the loss, I've never experienced such, excitement. So it was really an interesting week.
It was incredible and surprising to me. Look, I'm a history teacher in my normal life. And I started this year trying to expand our content. It's called basically Picking with the Professor. I'm trying to beat Vegas, a history teacher who doesn't know anything about gambling, trying to win. I was 2-2 last week. One of the bets I was most confident about, though, however, was the Chiefs on the road against the Chargers. I did not know about this Justin Herbert mess.
Neither did we.
Holy cow. Tell me what happened. All of a sudden, I look up Justin Herbert's starting, throwing dimes. We have one of our guys who's on the podcast. He loves Justin Herbert. He was high on him. But just walk me through the events leading up to this game.
Yeah, so he randomly popped up on our injury report on Friday. It was kind of out of the blue. Everyone was like, what's going on? He popped up on the injury report. And then all of a sudden, Sunday comes around when he was supposed to be active, ready to go. We come to kickoff. 10 starts trotting out on the field. Everyone was taken by surprise. There was excitement, some nervousness. But yeah, I thought, to be honest, when I saw him go on the field, I think along with a lot of our fans, we thought it was just like some package. We were trying to catch the Chiefs off balance.
Guard,
run run a couple plays, and then get Tyrod back in there. And then, yeah, I mean, we were just as shocked as anyone else. The only thing that we knew is that he popped up on the injury report with a limited practice Friday. And that was the extent of it. So we were just as shocked. I was just as scared until that first drive when he came out, all hyped up, excited, and put together a little drive for us there.
Some more news has come out recently, but why? Tell us exactly why this homie was starting.
Well, I think the big thing that we all learned in the last 6 hours was that Tyrod had cracked his ribs, which they said rib injury. They didn't say what it was. So he cracked his ribs. And then the doctors gave him a shot basically to numb the pain. But the shot they gave him, the risks, they whenever they go in to give the players this kind of treatment, they tell them there's a risk that something bad will happen. There's a 1% chance that we will hit your lungs. So they basically gave him the shot, but ended up puncturing his lung. And the dude was not ready to play football.
They numbed an organ.
If you have a punctured lung, I just gotta feel like you shouldn't play anything.
Yeah.
No, probably
other than maybe PlayStation.
You should focus. You should put all of your energy into not dying. Basically,
yeah. Breathing.
They numbed his lung for goodness sake. So yeah, needless to say, he was going to be. And now it sounds like he's. The doctors are saying, some reports are saying that he should be out kind of indefinitely for the time being. They said that he's week to week, but yeah. So he had a medical mishap before kickoff.
Justin Herbert comes in at the 11th hour. And how much is this? I was surprised. I mean, obviously the Chargers offense was invigorated, right? It was something different than what we saw. And really, you guys have to be excited about Justin Herbert after that experience. But how much of this was the Chiefs not being prepared for Justin Herbert? Was there any of that involved? Was there a shock factor on their preparation side? I'm trying to figure out why you guys gave them so much fits, and obviously the answer is the defense.
Yeah, go ahead, Kev. I was gonna say, yeah, I think that is what it is. We scored 20 points. It's not as if we went out there and hung up 40. So Herbert had a good game, absolutely, but it was our defense that really kept us in the game the whole time and gave the Chiefs fits. I mean, the big thing was time of possession for our offense, and most of that had to do with our running game, not as much to do with Justin. He did have a great game, threw for over 300 yards, pretty incredible, ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown. But yeah, our running game and defense, which is how you beat better teams. You got to control the clock and be able to get some 3 and outs, which is what we were able to do.
He injected some life early, though. I know it was the defense. Right. I know the running game is the deal, and that's the real story. I understand that. But you guys kind of, if you think of it like a boxing match, it kind of came out and punched the champ real quick early. You know, you landed one on the chin, and I feel like there's a lot of credit that's due. He responded in this moment.
Yeah, it was big time for that, and he kind of carried it throughout the game too. Where like in the recent memory, I don't remember having 8 to 10 minute drives. Like that isn't usually our MO, but he was consistently doing that all game long. So like your boxing analogy, he just kept with that jab and just kept it going and just really didn't give them a chance to get in rhythm.
Y'all's defense is really the story. Actually, no, it's not just the story. There's 2 stories to the Chargers from what I am an outsider. You guys are the insiders. I'm the outsider. I see 2 stories. Defense, badass. Derwin James, my favorite player who has not played football. And your running game is legit. So talk to me about, let's start with the defense. How good are you guys?
Kyle's our D coordinator, so go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, so a lot of our defense, obviously, in the NFL nowadays stems from your pass rush. And I think we have 2 of the top 10 pass rushers in the league with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa. But the surprise of the season so far has been our pass rush up the middle. We brought in Linval Joseph from Minnesota. And also Jerry Tillery, our first-round draft pick of last year, has come on the scene hot this year. Got a sack in week 1. He's been getting a lot of QB pressures. So that has been what's led our defense, because we do have we obviously with Derwin James going down, Desmond King right now, another one of our strong safety kind of nickel corners. He's had a little bit of drama right now with the coaching staff wanting more play. But overall, we're just solid in a lot of spots.
You love Linville Joseph, don't you?
Yeah, he's that. Yeah. It's just that non-flashy piece of the defense that every team needs. That nose tackle that can take up 2 blocks and can get pushed when it comes to pass rush time.
He's fast. He makes Ingram.
He makes the guys that get paid stars.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and he's, like you said, he's making everyone around him look sexier because you look at what the kind of pressures, like Joey Bosa right now, they had a stat. I think he has 17 pressures on the quarterback. The closest person to him right now in the AFC
say
has
that one
8.
more time.
17 quarterback pressures in 2 games.
Can I tell you one stat about the Panthers as you say that? We do not have a single sack this season. And I think we have only had 1 QB knockdown.
Shit.
Through 2 games. Wow. So say it one more time.
But I'm also pumped
17 pressures by one
17.
person and through 2 games?
2 games, 17, a sack, like 6 hurries. Like, so here's the thing. If you want to look at like what you guys need to be worried about, in my opinion, is our front 4. Because we don't need a blitz. That's what we've seen the first 2 weeks. There's no blitzing. Yeah. And now we got Chris Harris from the Broncos, and we got all these guys that can drop back and cover everybody. And you tell us I want to hear about your boy McCaffrey, because I have him on 2 fantasy leagues. He's out. So I was bummed about that. But like, what is that going to do to your guys' offense?
Well, one thing I think it would do this is obviously it ruins our offense in one way, is that we have the best running back in the league. He is the best running back in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we can quibble about different things and stuff, but he's complete. Here's the first thing. It's his first injury. His first injury in his career so far. That stinks. The other thing is it's a high ankle sprain from we have not heard a lot about it. We just know this is he sprained it. It didn't look bad. All of a sudden, he's on the sideline. They take him out. He had run a touchdown after it. And then all of a sudden, they're not letting him in the game, which I think is smart by the Panthers. But they've shut him down. They've put him on IR. They said the Panthers have said that this is rebuild. We're rebuild. Yeah. And we paid Christian McCaffrey. He is our workhorse. There's no sense in hurting him more. We know a player that is a dog. We've had dog players before, and what I mean by that is Cam Newton will go play through injuries. Christian McCaffrey will go out there. He will make himself worse. So we've shut him down. It's going to hurt us. In some ways, though, I think it's a blessing in disguise for Panther fans. Number one, we're kind of, even though we're in a rebuild mode, and we actually are very competitive. We're far better than people, even Panther fans, give us credit for. We're kind of in a tank mode. So why ruin your running back? Why doing this is when I say blessing in disguise, one, you take miles off the tires, right? Is you're sidelining the guy, you're letting him get healthy and this and that. Two, I think it's going to force us to diversify our offense in a way. Why does Christian McCaffrey help us today? No. And a hurt Christian McCaffrey hurts us tomorrow.
I'm just curious, like you were mentioning, like it seems like the fan base is saying that they're, ready to kind of get ready for Trevor Lawrence. Is that what you're saying, the vibe?
That's what everybody wants, baby, because he's South
already
Carolina.
At week 2? Week 2, you guys are already there?
I think we were prepared before the season started for that. That was kind of the hope. It was almost – all right, so the Panthers, if you look at our record historically, we're an 8-8 team. We've never had back-to-back winning.
You're preaching to the choir.
Right there with you.
We've never had – and listen, in our 25 years or 27 now, we've never had back-to-back winning years. We'll be 12-4, then we'll be 7-9, then we'll be 10 and so what Panther fans have been upset by, or at least some of the harder core ones, is what we call that kind of yuppie mediocrity. And we've been excited. Now, we love Cam. It's a hard year for us, bro. It's a hard year for us. We miss.
We're
our
in a
favorite
similar
player.
situation.
Dude, exactly the same. Our quarterback forever is gone. So it's a similar kind of energy and vibe. It was hard to deal with.
It's nowhere similar.
What are you talking about? At least our guy was on the field all the time.
How many playoff wins?
6, 7?
He has not had no 6 or 7.
I believe it's 6.
Lies.
I'm
All right, I'm the
confident.
biggest. I am the biggest.
In recent memory, we've had at
Rivers-
least 2 in the last 4 years.
I'm the biggest Rivers hater in the world, bro. Most overrated.
Why you gotta hate? Why you gotta hate on Phil?
Well,
I'll tell you.
Philip
I'll tell you
Rivers'
this.
his playoff record is 4-4. He's 500. He's a Panthers
500.
quarterback.
He's had
Built for
4.
you guys.
He's been there for like 20 years. All right. Here, let me tell you about this. He is the best quarterback through 3 quarters. And then every 4th quarter I've ever seen in my life, and I'm Catholic, bro. I'm Catholic, so there's no hating on the Jesus part, but he's looking up to the heavens going, why did I throw that? He's looking up like the big screen right there. And he always throws the interception, at the end. And he's looking up. He's like, huh. And he's almost surprised by it. How is he surprised by it? I don't get it. And
the fandom behind Philip Rivers has nothing to do with statistics. It has nothing to do with performance. It's because you fall in love with the man that is Philip Rivers. That's the bottom line. Like, he is a leader. You watch him play. He played in the AFC Championship with a torn ACL. The guy's he's a natural leader. You want to see him do well.
Yeah.
God dong it. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I can't explain it, to be honest.
It's hard to explain.
You can throw stats at me all day, and I'll be like, "Yep, that's probably true. He didn't play great in the playoffs, but
Cool
I
story.
still am loyal to Philip." Yeah, cool story.
Dang it. Why are we talking? Nah, he's funny. He doesn't curse. That's my joke on the. No, all right.
Yeah.
Part of the reason is I don't like him. He went to NC State. Number 2, which is kind of our rival. But the thing with Philip Rivers is the numbers are great, and the passing yards are great. That's what it is.
Yeah,
the passing yards are great.
He holds several franchise records for us.
But I don't want to hear no shit. Cam took nobodies to the Super Bowl. Cam is incredible. But
yeah, how'd that Super Bowl go for you guys? I wouldn't be proud of that Super Bowl. That's like the Chargers Super Bowl appearance.
If we would have had a right tackle in that game, we would have won. All right, so what are your tell me what's on your mind about your team. I've asked you not every question I could think of. I could keep you here all night, but just like as you're going into this week, what's kind of in the thoughts and minds of Charger fans?
I think the big one for us is the fact that Herbert's going to get a second round at this, because there was talk at the beginning of the week that Tyrod was going to come back in and be the starter again. And it's not that we don't want that. We just saw what happened week 1, and it wasn't the most exciting brand of football, honestly. We grinded it out. So this week we grinded it out with our defense, but we were successful on offense. So I think generally our fan base is like, what can Herbert do? Like, we're excited to see what he's capable of.
Do you think there was any malpractice? I won't say malpractice. Not like Tyrod Taylor's got a suit against.
Dude,
the
there's
Chargers.
there's so many hypothetical things floating around, like conspiracy theories. It was an accident. He's the most. Tyrod Taylor is the most unlucky quarterback in the National Football League. He's always his first year starting for 2 different teams. They draft a quarterback in the first round. He gets hurt within the same week. He got hurt the same week 2 years apart. He's just the most unlucky human being on this planet. And I feel so sorry for him because I think he's a good quarterback.
Do you think that's why Anthony Lynn is so kind of, I wouldn't say dogmatic, but emphatic that Tyrod Taylor should be the starter if he wasn't hurt?
Yeah.
It's the turnover game, man. The whole year, all our coach is talking about is the turnover game. Don't turn over the ball. Don't turn over the ball.
I do think there's a part of it.
Is it also what he is saying?
Yeah.
There's a little built up resentment from having, inheriting him for the last couple of years, but he's changing the dynamic of our offense. Kyle, go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, I do think there is something to everyone was questioning why Anthony Lynn came out and was so emphatic about if Tyrod's healthy, he's our quarterback. Justin's the backup for a reason.
And I
think part of that was because we hurt Tyrod Taylor, our medical staff.
y'all.
You know, I think
he's
an ex-player. He wouldn't want to throw his guy under the bus. You know, it's like, dude, this guy didn't lose the job.
You're not supposed to lose your job to injury in theory, right? That's kind of the rule of thumb. And then when you cause the injury, that does insane. Yeah,
it's a horror movie. It's literally a horror movie. You can't write this stuff. It's impossible. Yeah. Like this is like a horror movie version of a football movie. It's just hard to get by.
All right. Well, you know what? It's funny is that you're saying it's a horror movie when you actually might be the most optimistic you could be at this moment. In theory,
dude? It's like this. It's this crazy like yin yang thing. It's like this sucks, but we found out who our new guy is. But then we don't want him to go away yet because we have fun watching him.
You're almost 2-0. You rung the champ's bell, bro. So it's not like there's got to be optimism surrounding this team.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. There's a lot of games left. There's a big seat. There's a lot more NFL road to travel, and we're not worried by any means yet. We're optimistic.
No, you have to be. In fact, if I would have asked you if you would have been like this at 6 weeks ago, I think you're probably happier now than you expected to be. Not to say that you thought you were going to be bad, but this has got to be good feeling about this team. Here's a question from one person in the chat room. They asked this, is the Chargers, did they get just a new stadium? And what he means by this, I had to read the question several times to figure it out. And not because it was poorly written, but to understand what the meat of it is are they just in a new home now, or did they get their place to play? And what he means is, like, are you sharing a joint, or is it your joint now?
It feels to me, Kyle, you should weigh in on this too, but it feels to me like it's our place. It doesn't feel to me like this
LA
is the
people
stadium.
are so fickle. You got to go back to San Diego.
Dude,
it's the
I
worst thing.
No, it's just not going to happen, man.
I know it's not going to happen.
We lived it, dude. We're from there.
LA is terrible for football.
Well, the thing is, San Diego's not the best either. And the problem we had
the weather
with
is beautiful.
The problem we had with all of it was that we could not get the local government to get us funded to get a stadium. They blew it. And we tried for, I would say, at least 10 years to get that done. And then we got to the final minute where our ownership was like, all right, guys, we're out because this is too much. And they tried to scramble and make it a PR thing like we were leaving them. But it was a 10-year process. And this is where it is now. And I'm loving this right now because there were a lot of salties from a lot of bad years of being a San Diego Chargers fan. We're getting a new breed of fan now. We're getting young kids are talking to us. There's a whole new group of people coming and jumping on board with us. So that's what we need. Everyone, the big joke is that we don't have a fan base and we're going to get overwhelmed by other fans. Yeah, we are until we start building
50 million Los Angelians, right? Or whatever it is.
It's all 90-minute drive.
But the ratings this last weekend, as far as who was watching what, we outrated the Laker game, we outrated the Rams game, we outrated the Emmys. So people are interested, whether it was from Hard Knocks or whatnot. But people are interested in Charger football, and we were playing the Chiefs. But I think it is our home. I think you could see it in. Go ahead.
No, keep going. No, I'm sorry to interrupt. You were hitting your sweet spot, bro.
That's okay. I was saying, I think that you watch the energy that our team played with last week. They feel like it's their home. They came out ready to fire away. When we were playing at whatever they call it now, Home Depot Center, the soccer stadium, whatever it was called. That you could just tell, we just didn't like playing there. There was only 30,000 seats, so the opposing team wants to come to LA for their one road game. So they all come to LA, and then we were overwhelmed by people.
Tickets cost was insane to go to those games because there were so few seats. So it's hard to maintain. You can't get guys that really want to go to the game but can't afford it. Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So I think that we did find our home. I think that's the way that the players feel for sure.
When they open it up, are you ready to go to a game?
We already had tickets ready to go for 2 of the games, and we just
nice.
They refunded us.
And our podcast all over the country. I'm in Missouri for work. Pulled me out to Missouri. Our other co-host is in Idaho, and we were all gonna fly in and meet in LA and go to our new stadium, but that's just gonna have to wait.
All right, the mic's y'all's now.
I have a question because the big thing that I want to know about, I feel confident about a lot of areas on our team. I want to know what's up with your secondary because I never watch Panther games. I just never see them.
Sure.
So can you kind of break us down on what the Panther secondary is like?
All right, it's terrible. And when I say terrible is that first we have a bunch of no names. We've let go. We don't have any guys that we've tried to build around. The number one corner right now is Dante Jackson, who is a third-year player out of LSU. Don't quote. I'm pretty sure it's LSU. Somewhere around. He is 5'9". He weighs 178 pounds, soaking wet. He runs like the wind. Slightly undisciplined, actually, largely undisciplined. Instinctual player, pretty good. But he just, no matter his speed and all of this, he's not going to be able to match up with big boys that can run just as fast. I mean, he'll be there. He'll be there. But if somebody can run closest as to your speed and they're 4 inches taller than you and 50 pounds or 40 pounds more than you, really, I mean, that's what it feels like. Yeah. You can't build around a midget. He is the only guy. We got Justin Burris, who is a safety out of Cleveland, who played 10 games. We don't know much about him. We've got Trey Boston, who was originally drafted by the Panthers. Oh, wait a second. You've heard his name.
We had Trey Boston for a hot minute. Yeah, I remember that name.
So Trey Boston can't tackle. That's his problem. He's kind of a ball hawk. I won't say a ball hawk. He's not a ball hawk like he's just like this guy that can snag everything. What he is he's a guy that can play well when other guys are good around him. So, like, he's not the worst. He's not good. That's ultimately his best season was with you guys, and I think that largely had to do with the defensive front that you guys had at the moment. And I mean, it's not a knock on him. We're glad he's here in a way. He can't tackle ultimately. The secondary is a problem. We all understood this. We know this. We don't have the horses and the talent. Sadly, it's not been as bad as we thought. The other places are worse.
Well, hey, man, I just want to thank you for having us on. We really, really appreciate you reaching out and extending the olive branch, and it's been really awesome. I wish we played more frequently. I wish we could come on here more often.
See you in 5 years.
Yeah, see you in 5 years for sure.
Don't worry. You guys look. We just football fans having fun, right?
You know it, man. You know it.
All right. Hey, go Panthers. Good luck on Sunday.
Take it easy.
Yep,
Bolt up.
I told you I'm putting it on you. We're going for it.
Yeah, I was making a bunch of plays out there.
Good. That's good. That's solid too.
Yes, sir.
Hold your ground. Hold your ground. Woo! Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, we got all we need right there, right? All we need, baby.